We all know how breathing changes our emotions, but did you know how changes in facial expressions changes our emotions too? We all know that our hormonal, autonomic and somatic nervous systems are affected differently in different emotions. For example, the changes in breathing, muscle tension, facial expression and posture seen in emotions are brought about by activity of somatic nervous system, whereas the changes in blood pressure, heart rate, blood glucose etc. are brought by autonomic nervous system. And we also know that we cannot control our hormonal functions or our autonomic functions voluntarily, but can only control our somatic functions. Hence, there was a study which shows that just by controlling our somatic functions such as facial expressions we can control our hormonal and autonomic functions, thus controlling our emotion. Hence there was an experiment done by Ekman, Levinson, and Friesen in 1983 about how our somatic functions such as facial expressions can control our hormonal and autonomic functions, thus controlling our emotion. The actors were instructed to mimic the innate facial expressions of happiness, disgust, surprise, anger, fear, and sadness. The expressions were held for 10 seconds while the measurements were made of heart rate, skin temperature of the hands, measure of blood flow in the periphery of the body, skin resistance and forearm muscle tension. The result came out from this experiment is that the heart rate and skin temperature response patterns were found to be different for several of the emotional facial expressions. For example, heart rate decreased during the facial expressions of happiness, disgust and surprise, but increased during angry, fearful or sad. Skin temperature differentiated between anger on the one hand, and fear or sadness on the other. The experiment just described indicate that 1. Specific emotions can result in specific bodily changes. 2. Facial muscle movements are closely related to the body's internal adaptive response and emotions. Thus the outward and inward manifestation of emotional states go hand in hand. And we can say that if you keep smiling, even without any reason, it will help your body to release tension and relax. And similarly, if you keep frowning, you will be asking your own body to stay sad, and it will affect your body negatively.